Every generation has its favorite investment. Our grandparents bought homes when land was cheap and cities still had room to grow. Our parents trusted the stock market, stacking index funds and employer-matched 401ks like ladders to a stable retirement. But today's investors stand somewhere in the middle of a tug of war. Real estate feels more expensive than ever. Stocks feel unpredictable and inflated after years of technological upheaval and market shocks. Both promise wealth. Both are surrounded by noise. And with 2026 shaping up to be a year of economic turning points, everyone wants to know the same thing. Which investment will come out on top? To answer that, you have to step into the mindset of where the world is heading, not where it has been. Right now, the most interesting battle isn't about whether houses are better than equities. It's about how shifting demographics, interest rates, artificial intelligence, government incentives, and global supply constraints will transform the rules of money itself over the next 2 years. Real estate has always had emotional weight behind it. It's tangible. It can be lived in, rented out, passed down to children. It offers leverage unlike almost any other investment. A buyer might only put down $20,000 for a home worth $300,000, yet gain appreciation on the entire property, not on just their deposit. That magnifies gains dramatically in good markets. And that's why, despite high prices, real estate continues to attract investors who want something physical they can walk into. But the affordability crisis has shifted the landscape. Housing prices have surged far faster than wages in most U.S. cities. A starter home that once cost 3 times the average income now costs 6 or even 8 times that amount. Combine that with mortgage rates that climbed sharply in recent years, and you have a generation facing a financial wall their parents never saw. Yet here's the twist. Those very headwinds could set up a surprising advantage for real estate going into 2026. Many economists expect interest rates to ease as inflation stabilizes and the labor market cools slightly. A drop of even 1 percentage point in mortgage rates can revive purchasing power in a way that feels like a secret door opening in a locked room. Demand that was temporarily frozen doesn't disappear. It waits. And the moment buyers sense homes are within reach again, the competition returns. But there is a deeper issue that won't vanish with rate cuts: a major supply shortage. Decades of underbuilding, zoning constraints, and rising construction costs have left the nation structurally undersupplied. That imbalance acts like a permanent tailwind on home values. When there are fewer homes than households who need them, every property becomes a scarce asset. If rates decline going into 2026, housing demand could collide again with limited supply, pushing prices upward in markets already struggling to support their rapidly growing populations. But while real estate carries all the emotional appeal in the world, the stock market holds the power of pure scalability. It doesn't ask you to take on debt. It doesn't require maintenance or repairs or tenant drama. Companies can grow exponentially in ways a physical building never can. The question is whether the next 2 years provide opportunity for growth or plateaus that keep investors frustrated. If there's one force shaping the future of the market, it's artificial intelligence. The companies leading this shift are not simply building software. They are rewiring the economy. Stock valuations have surged in recent years because investors are betting that AI will expand productivity across healthcare, logistics, manufacturing, entertainment, retail, and nearly every form of communication. Whether that productivity actually shows up in the numbers is the trillion-dollar mystery that 2026 may be poised to solve. Earnings growth tends to lag technology hype by a couple of years. That means the promises companies are making today could finally begin translating into real results, real cash flow, and real hiring by the time 2026 rolls around. If those results arrive even half as strong as early projections, equities tied to automation, cloud infrastructure, and semiconductor innovation could see another wave of aggressive growth. But stocks don't move in a straight line. They are emotional creatures. If the Federal Reserve shifts policy too quickly or too slowly, if geopolitical tensions climb, if consumers pull back spending, the market could wobble. Then there's the issue of concentration risk. A handful of mega-cap companies currently make up a massive portion of the market's performance. That can be thrilling when those giants are winning, but uncomfortable if leadership rotates or growth slows. The broader market thrives when many sectors rise together, not just a few futuristic superstars pulling the rest behind them. So which investment is actually positioned to win in 2026? The truth is more interesting than picking sides. Real estate and stocks are responding to different forces that may peak in the same moment. Housing is waiting for interest rates to loosen their grip on buyers. Stocks are waiting for AI productivity to justify the optimism driving valuations. Both are poised for a potential surge. Yet both also face risks that could interrupt the storyline if inflation resurges or the economy slides too suddenly into recession. The real difference lies in how each asset builds wealth. Real estate rewards patience and leverage. Someone buying a $450,000 rental property with a modest down payment could watch equity expand even during slight market growth because they own so much more than they personally invested. They benefit from rising home values, declining mortgage balances, and rental income that adjusts with inflation. Real estate generates cash flow, which can act as a cushion when markets turn volatile. On the downside, properties can become illiquid and expensive to maintain, and the wrong purchase in a declining area can turn leverage into a trap rather than a blessing. Stocks, by contrast, reward innovation and access. With as little as $100, an investor can own a piece of companies shaping the future. They can diversify globally, hedge risk across sectors, and benefit from dividends that grow over time. Liquidity is instant, yet stocks also demand emotional resilience. A single headline can erase months of gains. The market doesn't care whether someone feels confident. It cares about sentiment, and sentiment is famously unpredictable. To truly compare the two investments, you have to step into the shoes of different types of investors. Someone young with decades ahead of them might find the volatility of stocks exciting rather than frightening, especially when dollar cost averaging protects them from buying too high. Someone building a family might want the stability and utility of a home they can live in or rent out. Someone entrepreneurial might combine both, borrowing equity from real estate to fuel a portfolio of stocks, or using stock growth to eventually invest in properties. What becomes clear as 2026 approaches is that the smartest investors aren't betting on a single winner. They are watching how the economy evolves and adapting as the story unfolds. When borrowing costs fall, the housing market heats up. When innovation accelerates, the stock market runs. Both trends could converge in a powerful way if the soft landing scenario economists hope for becomes reality. Inflation stabilizing, employment steady, rates dropping slowly, and productivity rising fast. That environment has historically been ideal for both property owners and equity investors, creating a balanced wealth-building era that rewards anyone positioned to participate. But if conditions tighten, if inflation stays sticky, if layoffs rise sharply, if consumer spending weakens, stocks could stumble while real estate holds on to value due to limited supply. And if interest rates remain stubbornly high, housing may stay strained as stocks benefit from leaner, more efficient corporate growth powered by automation. The answer is not about which asset wins in every version of the future. It's about which wins in the version most likely to happen. And right now, the likelihood points toward moderate rate reductions and continued innovation advancement. That means real estate regains momentum as financing becomes more accessible, while stocks accelerate on the back of rapidly improving technology that finally turns hype into measured economic gain. Standing at the doorway to 2026, investors aren't choosing between stocks or real estate. They're choosing flexibility or leverage. They're choosing liquidity or stability. They're choosing the unpredictable excitement of technological transformation or the steady power of owning something the world will always need: a place to live. Both can win. Both are positioned to grow. And both offer a different kind of security for a world in flux. The people who succeed in this next chapter won't be those trying to crown a single victor, but those who recognize that financial resilience comes from holding assets that thrive under different conditions. When innovation is booming, stocks deliver. When supply is scarce, real estate shines. When uncertainty reigns, diversification protects. By 2026, the economy may look very different, but one thing will remain true. Wealth belongs to those who prepare before the shift becomes obvious. The investors who take action now won't have to ask which one wins. They'll be celebrating as both sides of their portfolio rise. That was all from us today for this video, folks. For more similar content, make sure to watch our video on side hustle tax hacks you need to know before December 31st. See you in the next one.